I've been bullet journaling for several years now, and I've learned a lot about what works and what doesn't work for me as somebody with a chronic illness. I thought I'd invite you guys to sit down with me while I belatedly set up my bullet journal for August, and I'll share a couple of tips with you that I've found really helpful. My first tip is to know when to keep it simple. I had this Blackberry theme planned for this month that I was super excited about. I really like to put a ton of effort and time into making my bullet journal art because it is a huge creative outlet for me. But I'm in a flare at the moment, and I realized that if I stuck to that plan, I would never be able to finish what I had in mind. So I ended up picking just a color and a font that I liked and sticking with that. There are tons and tons of ways to make something that you're going to be happy with without overspending your energy, and it's important not to beat yourself up if you can't do what you originally planned. My second tip is that imperfections are part of the story. When I first started bullet journaling, I wanted everything exactly right, and I got really frustrated when it didn't turn out like the Pinterest picture. I stressed myself out a lot and got quite overwhelmed. But now I use my bullet journal more as a way to save memories, and I think of the imperfections as part of the story that I get to look back on. My third tip is to break the rules. So what I mean by this is, for example, almost everybody makes these super fancy cover pages, right? Well, I found out pretty quickly that those take a lot of spoons to make, and I never look back on them again. So I stopped trying to make them. Another example is I used to devote a lot of my bullet journal to habit trackers and different productivity pages, and those almost made me quit bullet journaling because I was pushing myself so hard to do all the right things, and then I felt so guilty and like a failure looking at all of these unchecked boxes at the end of the month. As part of accepting my limitations and allowing my body the rest it needs, I don't use those extensive habit trackers or super structured to-do lists anymore. Some months I skip almost entirely, and I'll just make a calendar and a little journal summary so that I can remember what I did that month. While most people use their bullet journals for productivity, that's not what's important to me. I use it to keep track of a couple of adulting things, but mostly to set reasonable goals and record important memories. So yeah, find out what's important to you and stick with pages that accomplish those goals. So those are the tips that I had for you today. So here's a flip through of the final product. My camera battery died in the middle of this, so I'm sorry it changes from my camera to my phone. I didn't plan that well. I don't have a spare battery. If you got any value out of this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. I know I don't have any videos right now, but I am planning a lot more content on art and aesthetics and living with a chronic illness. So if you like that kind of thing, please stick around. Also, if you have any other tips for adjusting a bullet journal to your needs, or any particular pages or tricks that help you a lot, then leave them in the comment bar below because I would love to learn from you. So, thank you very much, and I hope you have a great day.